right, so today, again, we're going to be talking about the top 10 ways to market to doctors. It first of all starts off with all of the different services. Now, some of you have already seen this. You've gone through all of this with the rep that you're probably working with here at American Business Systems. Now, I will say this, we do get people on these webinars that haven't talked to anybody yet. You found this, you just jumped on here, you thought, hey, let me listen to this. So I'm going to talk to you directly. If you do not know who your business coach here or your rep here is at American Business Systems, if you'll hang on with me to the very end, I'm going to give you a phone number and or an email address that you can contact us here directly, and we'll help you with that. But one of the things that you're going to learn when you do talk with these business coaches and these reps here, that you're going to learn that it's more than just medical billing. We're going to teach you how to become a medical revenue manager. Okay, so that's a little different than just becoming a regular business, what you would think of as a billing person, someone that just do the doctor's medical billings, because there's really more to it than just doing that. So whether you're marketing directly to the doctors utilizing iClaim or EMRX, or the virtual care, or the audit guard and the code right. Now, if you can see those two right below that little box there, it says virtual care, it says audit guard and code right. For those that might be a little bit concerned about, hey, can I do this business and not know anything about medical coding? Well, those two services right there will help answer that question, because we've got professional coders. They're called PCPs, professional coders, that will help you know what to do and how to help you with that. So everything that you're going to need to do with coding, including what's in the iClaim platform already, we've got you covered whenever it comes to medical code. So we've got all that taken care of. Now, some of you want to branch out and maybe even do some dental billing. So that's what Dentamax is about. Now, for those that are looking to help doctors with their HIPAA compliancy, that's Compliancy Guard. And I'm going to share with you really one of my favorite ways of actually marketing to a doctor, actually utilizing not the iClaim system, but actually that particular service right there, and how that can help lead you into finding some areas there. Then we've got Quick Collect, Auto Card, and then Choice Pay. These are some other ancillary services that we have. So let's first of all talk about one of the things that you're going to want to do with physicians, and that is going to be do some physician education. Now, I see the other question that's come up here about how much can I make, and I'm going to share that with you here in just a little bit. So hang on, I'm going to leave that question up there. I just don't want you thinking I haven't seen you there. But one of the things that we want to teach you to do is actually learn how to educate not only yourself, but then with the doctors themselves. Now, this education can come about with many different ways. We're going to teach you how to do what's called some lunch and learns. And make presentations. We're going to show you how to make presentations doing webinars. We're going to teach you how to make presentations and educating the doctor by utilizing some books that we're going to share with you here in just a moment. There's different ways that doctors need to learn that they are maybe losing money, or some of the things that they actually need help with. Now, one of the first things one of the best ways to actually start marketing to doctors is trying to share with them some of their pain areas. And if you've ever heard Dr. Vicki Rackner, and I'm going to share a little bit more about her in just a little bit, but if you've ever heard about Dr. Vicki Rackner with us here at American Business Systems, she says that doctors are in pain and they need a remedy, and then you can be the remedy. Now, a lot of doctors don't understand it right off the bat. All they know as they're going from 2022 to 2023, that they may not have made as much money as that they were hoping for. And that could be tied up with claims that have not been filed properly. There was a lot of claim denials, which we've talked about in the past, and or that there is a lot of unpaid outstanding bills, or claims, or whether it be from the insurance companies or from patients, that the doctor still hasn't collected on. So one of the ways in which we do that is through this book here, The New Thriving Medical Practice. Now you can see here that there are some tabs there. And one of the things that we know about doctors is that out of all physicians, that have employed billing staff, 42% of those hope to outsource their billing within the next 12 months. That has pretty much stayed consistently over the last 10 years. Because what doctors recognize is that what they think they might need to be able to do is keep billing in-house. And a lot of you are probably thinking, well, don't doctors already do billing? The answer is yes. It's just, do they do it in-house or do they actually have it outsourced? And most doctors understand if they could get that outsourced, that actually it creates a bigger cash flow for them than any other way. So first of all, let's talk about some of the things that you're going to find out in this book. Now, here's one of the things I'm going to encourage you to do. I want you to get a copy of this book. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do that. I'm not here to sell a book to you today, but you know the investment cost here. So for like 1% of that or less, whatever it may be, this book is on Amazon. So if you want an actual hard copy of this, you can go get it on Amazon for $24.95. So right at $25 there. So you can go get that. Or let me encourage you that if you're talking very seriously with your business coach here at American Business Systems, we do have this in a PDF format. So if you'd like to get a copy of it, just go back out. This is our gift to you for being on the webinar today. Go back and talk with the person that you're working with and just say, hey, Eric mentioned about getting a PDF copy of the New Thriving Medical Practice, and we'll get a copy of that to you. Because one of the things you're going to need to know is how to talk to doctors. And so one of the things we want to make sure that you have is some of the things that the doctors are faced with. Remember, I mentioned earlier that doctors are going to be motivated by what's their pain issues are. That's the whole reason we end up going to the doctor in the first place. We've got a pain here, we've got a hurt here, our knee's hurting, something's hurting, we have a headache, we've got something wrong with us, which motivates us finally, especially us guys, finally motivating us to go to a doctor. Well, this is the thing that causes doctors to start looking, gosh, do I need a change of what I'm doing? Now, here's one of the great things before I go on anything else about this book. When you become a business owner here with American Business Systems, you're going to get this as part of your marketing plan, actual books. And I'm going to share with you how you actually become the subject matter expert here in just a moment with these books. And let me share with you, many people, brand new folks that have gotten started in this business have actually got some of their first doctors by just marketing with these books. That's why I wanted to start off with this one here with the books here, because it is usually the way in which most folks get their first doctor, because this does so many things psychologically to the doctor and to yourself. Number one, as you can see here, this book is written by Dr. Vicki Rackner and Patrick Phillips, and it's dealing with things that doctors are really having to deal with. Number one, rejections. They have held steady in this industry that's 30% or above. Now, if you've been on any of our other webinars, we've shown you ways or shown you reports, whether it's from industry leaders or from the government, that says that rejections of claims actually are 30% and above. And that's what we're talking about here. So when a claim is filed and it gets rejected, a lot of times those claims are never refiled, fixed, or whatever. So the doctors are losing money. They're losing their income. And sometimes that could be up as high as 20 to 30%. Now, imagine if you are supposed to be making $100,000 a year, but you're only getting $80,000 a year, and then you got your taxes taken out of that. You're not making everything that you were promised and told that you were going to make. And that's what's happening with these doctors. These doctors know pretty much how much they should be making. But when their claims are being rejected at a clip of about 30% or more, then they already know that they're losing money out of the gate. And then obviously, if you think about it, then they're having to pay taxes on what they're actually getting. So they're getting a lot less than what they're supposed to be and should be getting. So what solves this? Now, I mentioned to you earlier, someone asked earlier, I think it was Joseph, asked, do we own our own software? Well, the reason we do not is because we feel like we're in a much better position. Our business owners over the last 20 plus years have felt like they're in a better position of having a very good cloud-based system that's out there and supported for our licensees through this company called NextGen Healthcare. And with that cloud-based system, that helps us solve a lot of the concerns that doctors have. Matter of fact, we can show them and demonstrate to them on your behalf to your doctors. This is something you're not even having to do. We will actually do the demonstrations for you. That what you're going to want us to do, we will step through to with that doctor, letting them know how we're going to take those claims that they're normally being rejected, whether it's 15% or maybe even 10% or even higher, as up to 20 to 30%, how we can start whittling down and making a huge impact, usually within the first 30 to 45 days, and showing the doctor that we're actually able to capture up to 98% of those claims being processed and paid. So we're talking about less than a 2% rejection rate versus a 30% rejection rate. So this book is going to actually share with the doctors really how this is all going to happen. And then obviously through this cloud-based filing system is actually even more secured than actually owning your own software. That's what a lot of people think, gosh, if I could just make sure I own my own software and I put it on my computer, there'd be a little bit more security to that. But what happens is, let me share with you a little bit of the con about that. That means that you have to maintain the security. That means you have to make sure that you have all of the patches that go along with it. Because folks, we all know at this point in this time where we're dealing with the internet, that there are malware that stir up all the time. And the last thing you would want to do is have to store all the patient data, whether it's on a laptop or on your computer, and then you're having to do all the backup, then you're having to help the doctor do their backup. You want something that's secure. And that's really why we say that we have a supreme or a superior platform. Because as you're thinking about it, what are some of the things that doctors are faced with already? Well, they're already faced with having maybe an IT company. Also, they're thinking about having to do their own backups. Many doctors have had a lot of crashes, hardware crashes before. So they want something that has a little bit better, more of a better platform. And that's what leads us to what I would consider to be this second way of helping doctors to market to them. That we're going to provide them, again, with a platform that is secure, very recognizable software that has been maintained and powered by NextGen. It's not just us here in back closets with servers all over the place, and we've got some guys that are running the platform and making sure everything's running. Now, this is 24 hours, 7 days a week, and then with the support that you get along with that, through your doctors. This is really what's going to be able to help you. And again, it all starts with us doing the demonstration for you, for your doctors. That's something that you just can't get if you own your own software. We take the time. Now, let this kind of sink in, folks. We take the time that if you are marketing to a doctor, and if you're thinking about this, if you're marketing to a doctor and you're brand new, you may not know all the lingo and you may not know all the buttons to push to show and do a demonstration if you owned your own software. But we do. This is what we've done for the last 29 years. We have our partnerships like NextGen that will help us through that and help do these demonstrations for you. There's not a doctor out there, there's not a specialist out there that we have not already done a demo for. And if you get them to that position after everything that we've shared with you, that you need to understand is that we really, truly are helpful to help you get your first doctor. Because that's the most important thing for most folks once they get started here, is how quickly can I get my first doctor? And when we're doing the demonstration for you, that is where we're helping you right along. We're walking right alongside of you. So this is very important to understand how you're going to market to doctors, because you're not just by yourself out there. You're really with a company that's going to handhold you through all the way to the signing of the dotted line and helping you even at that point, making sure that you get that doctor integrated into the system properly. So ABS has a complete integrated system. As you can see here, we have what's called the iClaim, which is the practice management system. That is the billing system. Then you have the electronic medical record system, which is what the doctors need to do their electronic medical records. Inside and built inside of that, and this is the great thing when the pandemic broke out. that with inside of our patient portal already, we were already doing telemed visits already. We didn't have to add that into our EMR system. That was already included. And then finally, the clearinghouse. Now, this is something that's very unique to this billing platform, because as you'll see on this next slide here, is that the clearinghouse is actually built inside of the iClaim platform, which means it's not sitting outside of it. So imagine if you're utilizing a different type of software that you've loaded onto your computer, you will have to make sure and maintain that the connectivity, the integration between your medical billing platform and a third-party clearinghouse that's out there, that's connected. Now, let me share with you that a lot of doctors do that today. A lot of doctors are doing just fine with that. But I'm telling you, the time that if you've got a doctor that's doing that currently right now, and you do a practice analysis on them, you're going to help them find out to understand that that is going to reduce the increase the problems about claims that are rejected. So if you think about it, if you've got a billing system and a clearinghouse all together, now at this point, you're going directly to the insurance companies after the claim has already gone through I'll say it that way, your clearinghouse, and it's ready to be sent to the insurance companies. And there's if it's rejected, it stays within the system. It never gets sent out of the system until it clears the clearinghouse. That way, you've got one less thing to worry about, that when you send out a claim, is it going to be rejected at the clearinghouse? And then it has to come back to you. If it's rejected with inside the billing platform, you're able to fix it immediately and get it back out and get it to the insurance company. So as Joseph just said, it's a very good point. Thanks, I appreciate that. So again, if you've got this system here, this is a way in which we, ABS, your support team, along with the technology partner, is actually helping you together get that first doctor. So if you can imagine, if you're trying to think, gosh, how am I going to go out there and market to doctors and try to figure out how I'm going to win these doctors over? Let us help you with that. That's the so important thing. So as we are going through, the third thing about it is some top ways you need to market to doctors. You need to have some credibility. Well, how else can you have credibility as you're beginning and starting off brand new? If this is brand new and let's say that you come from real estate or you're in insurance or you're in with anything, you've never really done healthcare before, what are you going to need? You need, again, some credibility. And this is where, again, ABS comes into play, and we're going to help you out here. And the first thing is you are automatically going to be connected with Dr. Vicki Rackner. Now, I just did an interview with Dr. Rackner, I think it was last week or the week before last. And she is actually here to help you to get your doctors. Number one, she's written the book for you. Okay, so that's one good step in the right direction. And it's simply by asking through our support team, saying, hey, I need Dr. Vicki Rackner to send out a warm marketing letter to my doctor that I'm focusing on. And there's already a letter that she's already written, and all she has to do is sign it and send it out. And she'll send it. It'll be coming directly from her, not from you, but from her, to introducing you to her colleague, which would be your doctor, and letting her know that you are probably going to be the right person for her to listen to. Now, Dr. Rackner, if the doctors start Googling who Dr. Vicki Rackner, they're going to find out that, she, number one, was a practicing surgeon for quite some time. She's retired from there. But she's also helping other doctors to thrive as well. She's written a book called The Myth of the Rich Doctor. That's out there on Amazon that she sells directly to doctors. There's other books that she's been a part of and either wrote or co-wrote with. So there's a lot of things there that she's been interviewed on many of these other different platforms, as well as with us. And then she would, if at the right time, if she needs to be, she will actually get with you and help you again with everything that you might need to help market directly to the doctors. Now, recently, Adam Phillips, our CEO, and Dr. Rackner just put out another book called 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. Now, remember, what's the key thing here? We're trying to touch on the doctor's pain points, and the doctors know that they are losing money. So again, this book is also for you to give out to specific doctors. That little yellow tab up there is actually a complimentary sticker that we're going to show you how to help you put on there. But it's going to get even better than that here in just a moment. I'll share that with you. I'm getting some questions in here, so I'm going to hold off on a few of these because some of these I'll be able to answer just throughout the webinar whenever I get to the point, because we're almost at the bottom of the hour. So Dr. Vicki Rachner has written this book. Again, help build credibility. You can get this book and get it over to the doctors as well. But you can see here, again, she is saying that physicians in private practice walk away from an average of 30% of their income. Folks, this is not a surprise. This is not ABS saying this. This is the industry saying that. But she also says that outsourcing your medical billing could bring claim rejections to as low as 2 to 5%. Now, if you were a doctor, would you want to know, gosh, how are you doing that? Well, again, this book right here, The New Thriving Medical Practice, will answer that question. Now, here's where the good part about it is. Remember, I mentioned this whole section here is building credibility. Remember, this is the top 10 ways that we're going to teach you how to market to doctors. Okay, so what you need is some credibility. So ABS has been able to do that for you, because what we're going to do on every single book that falls up underneath you, you are the one that's going to be the one who wrote the foreword. We do have a template for that foreword. Now, you can take that template after you've read the book and change up the foreword if you'd like, because we're going to print it on demand just for you. And we're going to put your name on the front cover of the book. Now, let me share a brief testimony of what we've been able to see just recently, even during the pandemic. Now, folks, you know that during the pandemic, you could not get into a doctor's office, even if you were sick, let alone trying to market to doctors. So the question begs to ask here, did any of our ABS licensees or business owners here get new doctors during the pandemic? And the answer is yes. And all they used were the books. That's the only thing that they could get in the doctor's hands, because they had to mail them to the doctors. And it was truly, as you can see up here, I'm going to go back up over here to it. And you see this little book over here to the side. That's the New Thriving Medical Practice, and all these little yellow tabs. Because one of the things we're going to teach you in this training, very specifically, and just with a lot of strategy here, is to help the doctor jump to certain areas of the book. And that's what we're trying to do. So imagine that you've just gotten a book like this. The doctor's going to open it up. They're going to see all these yellow tabs. They're going to go, what is this? And they're going to start flipping through it. And then when they turn to a specific page, just like right here, you see it's yellow highlighted right there. When you go through our training, your trainer is actually going to take you to these areas. You're going to get a highlighter, and you're going to highlight these areas. Now, that's going to help you with your credibility, because you wrote the foreword to the book, and you're trying to help that doctor cut down some time, because they got to get to it pretty quickly. Remember, we kind of live in the YouTube age, so we're only getting little tidbits and little sound bits. So that's what we've been able to create within this. Now, imagine that you could also, we're going to teach you how to market to doctors by doing webinars or doing lunch and learns or anything else like that. You're going to use the same material when you're going to make presentations. So everything that we're teaching you right now on today's webinar is really what you're going to learn in training of getting yourself positioned as to have some credibility. Then on top of that, when you get through training, what you're going to get is a certification that you're a certified medical revenue manager. Now, let me go back one more slide here. You can see it says forward Susan Smith. Now, Susan Smith's just a fake name that we have here. I'm sure there's some Susan Smiths out there, but you can see CMRM, that's certified medical revenue manager. That's your credentials, okay? We're talking about setting you up, having some credibility, You're going to become a certified medical revenue manager. That is done by this company called MIRMA, the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. And that's who is the one that is going to be your face out there in the market, not American Business Systems. Because the last thing you'd want to do is say to your doctor, oh, yes, I'm a part of the nation's largest group of independent medical billers. I'm with American Business Systems. No, what you're going to do is say that I'm a part of the largest group of independent medical billers through an organization called MIRMA. It's MIRMA.org. You can go out there and take a look at it. They have a medical director. Guess who the medical director is? It's Dr. Vicki Rackner. And then all of your support team, some from our partners, technology partners, some with internally through here. And so that's what you're getting. So understand that through MIRMA and through your certification, you're getting set up to help you get out there and do what you need to be able to do to market to your doctors. Now, one of the other things that you need to make sure that you have is support, because a lot of doctors are going to go, okay, well, tell me about your support mechanisms. Tell me about what you have. Well, you will have an unlimited amount of support. And that's going to be coming through all of our technology partners. So you're not just getting ABS support and helping you, because one of the things that you're going to learn during the training is how to do what's called a practice analysis. And when you get through with that practice analysis with that doctor, because it's just a questionnaire, you're just going to ask the doctor, basically, how many patients are you seeing? How many, do you know what your current rejection rate is? These are tried and true and proven questions that are already done. Okay. Now you're going to get all of this information, but you're going to need some support and some help to make sure you can process this out, so you'll know what to bill for the doctor, how to price yourself out in the marketplace. So you're going to get back with American Business Systems. So we're going to help you get everything that you're going to need out there to make sure that you have your pricing done properly. Because again, when you're first getting started out here, this is one of the biggest things that you need. You need that type of support. And you're getting it from folks that are going to help you support this, that are also currently medical billers through American Business Systems as well. So you're not just going to get away with folks that might help you with this. This is going to be people that are going to help you, again, help you land that first doctor. And then all of your sources and resources are on our ABS LSS. That's our licensee support site. And you can see here, this is the most recent screenshot that I was able to take here of our licensee support site. From here, you're going to have all different types of resources that you will be able to either get some ideas, talk with other ABS licensees, or even share some of the information that we can share out there with you. So let me see, something just got in my way here. So let me put that down here. So let me go to this next screen over here. And this is where you can see all of these different training videos that we've done with our licensees. A lot of them are testimonials. Some of them are actual roundtables that we've been able to do. So you have all of these different resources right here of knowing what to do. You'll never be without some type of support. And then, as I mentioned to you, with our technology partners, such as, again, NextGen, they are there to help you with any of your questions that you're going to need help with. All right, so I'm almost at number 5 here, and we've got about 25 minutes left to go. But I'm going to take a little bit of time to help make sure that I can answer some of these questions, and then because I know that sometimes people might have to leave a little bit early, and we may go over just a little bit of time here this afternoon. So Tiger's actually asking, how much can I make? If you don't mind, I'm going to answer that question about kind of getting you and leading you back towards our YouTube channel. There's a lot of times where we go through about how much can you make as a medical biller. Matter of fact, I think it was just last week, we kind of stepped through that about what you can make versus what your return on investment is. So, but typically, again, with one doctor, you could really average with one doctor making anything from, I'll say 40 to, could be as high as $60,000 to $65,000 a year with just one doctor. Now that depends, obviously, what kind of doctor, the specialty, how many patients that they're seeing in a particular week. And so there's a lot of factors that go on in that, but that's why that window is so large there, anywhere from 30 to 35 to as high as 60 to $65,000 a year with just one doctor. So that's just a brief answer for that. And Tiger, hopefully that'll help you. And then I'm going to also, towards the end of the webinar, tell you where you can go find those webinars of that. Natalie's asking, how much is it to start with American Business System? What's the startup investment cost? There is a one-time fee here that we'll talk about again towards the end. But again, I know that some people might have to leave, but it is right under $30,000. It's $28,990. So you'll just want to, again, get back with the person that's invited you here. They will get you the cost, how to get it funded and all of that. But that is just a one-time fee. There's no ongoing fees. And that includes all the different services. So again, this is not a franchise and where you're going to have to pay that. I even had someone ask me a few weeks ago, is that per year? No, that is a one-time fee. That includes everything that I'm showing you today, including the unlimited support, and even right here where we are with the website. I'm going to share that with you one more time. But Geeta's asking the clearinghouse. Clearinghouse is used for the payment gateways. Am I right? And yes, it's for the payment gateways. If you think about it, there's got to be a mechanism from any billing system to get that claim from your billing system to the insurance companies. There's got to be some way that you would have to connect to all those insurance companies out there. So a clearinghouse is already connected out there. You just need to plug into one. Fortunately, with the iClaim platform that we have, it's already built in. You don't have, that's one less step that you have to take on that. So Jacqueline is asking, if the claim is rejected within the clearinghouse and sent back to us, do we have to call or interact with the practitioner patient? No, not necessarily. If there's a claim that's rejected within the clearinghouse, it's usually typically because it's missing a code, or it's missing maybe the date or the eligibility part of it, which again is going to get too much for us not to be able to go there this afternoon. So let me recommend, Jacqueline, when we get through with the webinar today, get back in touch with the person that invited you and set up a demonstration for you. And they're going to show you what we're talking about here, how when these claims get rejected and it stays within the system, how it allows you to fix those before you actually send it to the insurance company. And that's where we reduce the amount of claims that could be rejected, because we're catching it before we actually even get there. So hopefully that helps out a little bit. All righty. I'm going to save a few more of these as we get to the end. So, all right. So let's talk about your internet presence. Now, one of the things that a lot of brand new entrepreneurs need is help with websites. There is no doubt, as soon as you start marketing directly to the doctors, they're going to know what they're going to want to know. What do you have a website that I can go take a look at? And you do. Now, fortunately, we've already got these already built for you. They're very professional. They can be customized. Even some of the graphics can be changed. But really, what's important here, and I've got a little sampling of some of these right here, is that this gives you your internet presence. Again, folks, it's all about, do you know what you're basically talking about here? And it's, imagine that you're starting a brand new business and you do not have a website. You're trying to think, man, how am I going to get this fixed? Folks, we've got all of that already for you. It's almost just plug and play. There are a few things that can be tweaked on here. Obviously, we need to know your email address. We're going to need to know, what's your URL, so we can plug all of this together. That you've got your emails, that is whatever your company's name is, your name at whatever your company's name is. That's some of the things that we're going to obviously help you with before you even launch out there to go start talking with doctors. So that's one of the things that you're going to need to have. You need to have a good marketing website. And we've got that covered for you. And we've already got all the information in there. And a lot of it, again, kind of goes back to what the book is saying too. So this is all working together. Now, on top of that, we've got people that have been in this business with us for quite some time. Matter of fact, I got an email from Adam today telling me that one of our licensees, how they're actually marketing to doctors, and it was beautiful. And it's done still through their through the website, through some email campaigns that they're doing. And so we're going to teach you how to do that. That's part of being in business, is marketing your business. So even for those that have never marketed anything in their lives, but you know, down deep inside, this is really what you want to be able to do. You've got to be able to get your clients, and we're here to help you with that. You're not going to be left alone. Now, one of the other things that's going to be somewhat surprising is the sixth way, and that's through direct mail. You will not believe how better direct mail has become. Just personally, just think about yourselves. You get bombarded by email campaigns that happen all the time. And what do you normally do? You go click, delete, 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 delete. Okay. That has actually helped the direct mail. And so what we have through our system is called AutoCard, is a way to drip market to doctors with everything that you have on your website. With everything that's actually in that book, we're going to show you how to set up campaigns to start drip marketing through these mailers to the doctors. Now, I've got to tell you this story because this is one of the best stories that I know. Whenever I first started here with American Business Systems, I looked at Patrick. I said, hey, I want to make sure that these things actually are working. So that's what we did. We started making sure that these work. And we set up a little side company over here, and because we never want to be in direct competition with our licensees or our business owners here. But what we wanted to do, we wanted to go out and market here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I started doing that. And Patrick was watching me, and so was the rest of the company. And we started meeting some doctors out there, and I'd gone to some networking things where I was able to talk a little bit about our business. I was able to do some lunch and learns. I also did some not networking, but some trade shows, set up a booth. And this is all part of how we tell you to market. You can see that there's more than just 10 ways that I've already said. Lunch and learns, I haven't talked about that today. I haven't talked really about the trade shows that are out there that you can set up, and we can help you with getting all that set up. How to market directly to the doctors and do some bigger presentations if you want to. But what I was able to do, I was able to do all the things that we're going to teach you to do. And once I started meeting some doctors, I said, okay, here's about 3 or 4 doctors that I really want to try to go after. So we started the drip marketing campaign through this direct mail. I had one doctor says, you know what? I'm actually going to go with another billing company. And we said, okay, but we went ahead and continued to keep drip marketing to him. About 6 weeks went by, and I got a call from that office manager and says, hey, would y'all still be interested in talking with Dr. So-and-so about doing his billing? I said, well, sure. I thought he may have gone with somebody else. He says, well, he changed his mind. And I said, okay, well, just what changed his mind? He says, really what changed our mind is that you guys kept marketing to us, not bombarding us, but we kept getting your information in the mail. And that showed a lot of stability and credibility even after we told you no. And that's how we got our first client with that little company there. So folks, we know that these things happen and how they work. So again, whether it's through direct mail, there's a lot of email campaigns out there. There is also LinkedIn. We're going to show you how to market through LinkedIn, through Facebook, all of the different social parts out there. Okay. But nothing is just the right thing where you go, if I do just this, you have to do it all, folks. And so that's what we're going to try to do, because eventually all you want to do is get and have an audience with a doctor. And we're going to help you with that, with the proven solutions that we actually have out there, which are all of the different services, because doctors are always looking, what can fix my problem? All right, so let me share with you a couple of these. I'm just going to highlight a few of these, again, because we got about 15 more minutes and I want to take some more time to answer some more questions. So we have all these different services. We've already kind of spent the majority of our webinar today about iClaim and EMRX. But I'm going to share with you, for those a little bit, again, concerned about coding, and you need to know, what about coding? I don't know coding. I've told friends, I've told family members, and I'm thinking about getting in this medical billing. They're asking me, well, what are you going to do? Go to school to learn all these medical codes? How are you going to even learn all of this? You don't need that, because this is one of the services that you receive and the doctors receive through American Business Systems. This is not an additional fee. This comes with everything that you're going to need. So CodeWrite does this. If you need to simply scan in the doctor's charts, it'll be queued for coding. The certified professional coders will get that back to you. Then you'll be able to do their billing. That's as easy as you can do. That's really about it. I mean, there are some doctors out there, like surgeons, who will think, gosh, what I need to be able to do, I need to do my surgery. I can't write down my notes. I just need somebody to take my notes that gets transcribed to notes. I need someone to code that. Most doctors are already doing all of their own coding. So many times you're not even going to worry about it. If the doctors are using our EMRX platform, that already does the coding for you. So that is going to be taken care of there. But we got all bases covered whenever it comes down to the medical codes. Also, what about codes for doctors that are a little worried about whether they're going to be audited or not? Well, Audit Guard does a full audit on the doctor's charts. They want to make sure that they're not overcoding, which means that the insurances or Medicare is paying them too much. They don't want to undercode either, because that would cause the doctors not to get really what they were supposed to be paid for. And then especially with Medicare, even if the doctors are undercoding, they can still get fined. So there's all different types of things. So this is a great way to introduce to doctors right now, without even doing their medical billing, a source and a resource to help them to say, you know what, we're part of this big group here. And one of the things that we like to give doctors on a yearly basis is to do an audit with their codes. Now, folks, that's not challenging to a doctor or to an office manager. You know what? How about if we just able to do this service for you? A lot of doctors want to find out, are they coding properly? So Audit Guard is one of those door openers there. Now, one of the things I told you a minute ago was one of my favorite services that I think we have here, and that's the Compliancy Guard. And this has to do with HIPAA Resource. If one of the most violated parts of any practice is HIPAA compliancy. Next time you go to the doctor and you're checking in, just look over the counter, and if you see any charts open, you see any patient's names because they're working on something, and you're able to read that name, there's already a HIPAA violation right off the bat. If just having the staff having their cell phones back behind the glass over there, it too can cause some HIPAA violations. So what Compliancy Guard does is helps make sure that the doctor's office is in compliance. We help them track that, and it satisfies both HIPAA and the high-tech risk assessments that are required every single year. So let me share with you how I would market this and how I did market this. Whenever I was out there and I was trying to get and build my clientele, I actually just went to a few doctors' offices, especially at the beginning of the year, and again, reintroduce myself and tell them what my name is and which company I'm with. And then I'd like to talk with their compliancy officer. And I just stopped. I said, I just want to talk with your compliancy officer. I'm with my company. I want to talk with your compliancy officer. I promise you, 9 out of 10 times I got an audience. Not that I wanted to have an audience right there. All I wanted to do was get an audience so I could set up an appointment to come talk back with them. And that got me into the door more times than not. So remember that when you go through our training. So you're trying to think, how am I going to market to doctors? How am I going to get in front of an office manager without them just throwing away my card or throwing away a flyer or not being able to get them a book or whatever else. This is one of those ways. And to me, it's one of the hidden gems that we have here in all of our different resources. Again, for time's sake, I'm going to kind of speed up here a little bit, but Quick Collect is another way. I mentioned earlier that doctors are trying to find ways to collect on money that's due to them, whether it's through the patients or with the insurance companies. That's one of these ways. Now, I mentioned to you, we have a proven discovery system, and that is through the practice analysis questionnaire. This is the heartbeat of helping you get your first doctor. Imagine we've got all of this done. So let's say that let's start at number one. We talked about educating the physicians, right? And I'm kind of taking you through this little journey here to get to the point where now you finally got an audience with a doctor. Well, you don't want to sit there not knowing what questions to ask. We already have that. We already have that ready. And so when you're meeting with your doctors and you've got that one-on-one with them, you're going to step through these questions again. How many patients are you seeing? What is your current rejection rate? We're going to go through all of that, and it's going to go into what's called a practice revenue report. The great thing about it is, again, this is already built. And once you take those numbers that you find out from the questionnaire, then you're going to plug those in. And then what you're going to do is going to spit out a report like this. Now, folks, if you think about this, you don't have to sell anything. You're trying to show the doctor where they're losing their money. So you can see the top part of that has to do with what they're collecting currently. You can show them what they're projected, what they could project to get. And then what you can see here, it says an increase of approximately $10,000 a month. This is what the doctor's losing every single month. And in a year's time, this particular doctor, this is actually from one of our licensees, this doctor was losing $122,000 a year. Would you want to change if you could get half of that? That's what I'm saying. There's no selling to this. You don't have to convince the doctors to switch from their system to our system, knowing that they potentially are going to make this. This all works together. This is why we do the demonstrations for you. This is why we kind of coach you along of showing you how to coach the doctors along with letting them see, because now you become the subject matter expert. How do you do that? Again, through online demonstrations. This is how we support you. This is how we go through this. And we're going to show the doctors how our system will automatically check for insurance eligibility. For those of you that were on our webinar either last week or the week before last, we showed you that eligibility verification is one of the largest ways that doctors lose their money. But within our system, I'm just showing you through screenshots right now, we're going to step those doctors through of just putting the patient's information in here, and it's going to spit out all of this information, as you can see right there, and then it's going to say that, yep, this patient's with Aetna, and it's going to populate everything into the system directly for the doctor inside of the system. You don't even have to type it in, because why type it in if we can retrieve it from Aetna, or we can retrieve it from United Healthcare and populate it in directly into the system. And then lastly, folks, you need something that has proven stability, and that is being a part of the nation's largest network of medical billing companies. So if a doctor says, gosh, I've never heard of your billing company, well, that's okay. We're part of the nation's largest network of medical billing companies. Just like, I may have started a Remax company. Well, Remax, I don't own Remax, but I'm part of it, and I'm just one of your local facilities here. And we're always adding new services. And folks, this is the great thing. Even if we add new services in the future, what you pay today gets added to you automatically to you. So we have about 5 minutes, and I got to share with you one of the best things for you, because what we want to make sure is that you are 100% satisfied with your purchase here at American Business Systems. And the way that Patrick and Adam has done that is that they give you an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. Well, that gives you enough time, because it takes you about 2 weeks to get through this training. So that gives you plenty enough time to invest in you, sit through this training, go through all of this trade secrets that we're going to tell you how to do things. And at the end of 30 days, if you feel like this is not what you need, ask for your money back. The question now is, Eric, has that ever happened? Yes, it has happened. I've seen it happen here I've been with ABS over 15 years now. I've seen it happen. But that's okay. We've seen it not a lot. Obviously, we wouldn't be in business. But what we do see is that gives people an opportunity to make sure that they've made the right decision. And what's the most fair thing to give anybody that's trying to figure out, gosh, do I want to work for myself? Do I want to invest in myself? What happens if I get through this training and I really don't like it, or I'm afraid, or I don't know what I can be able to, if I can really do this? This is in the agreement for you, and I'm going to show you right where it is. So here's some next steps that I think that everybody needs to take. Number one, get back with the person that invited you and ask for the research guide. This research guide is a PDF. It's about 60 pages long. There's more in it than what you're going to be able to find on our website. So be able to get that. There's a lot of information that I shared with you today that's going to be in there. Secondly, for those that have asked some questions, how much can I make? Or, what are some of the other ways that I can help learn more? Can I listen to Dr. Rackner? Can I hear from other licensees? Yes. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/YABS. Go browse over there. We've been doing these webinars for as long as I can remember, and done every week. We haven't skipped a beat. Even on through holidays, whenever they land on holidays, we're there. The third thing you need to do is talk to other people, not me, not the person that's trying to help coach you along in this. What you need to do is talk to other people that have decided to do this and hear from them. People are going to say, well, gosh, you're only going to give me names of people who are successful. You're not going to give me any names of people who have failed at this. Well, you're going to hear from these. All of these people have failed in some way or shape or form, but these are the people who've stuck with it. That's what you want to. You want to talk to people who are successful. These are the people that have stuck with it. These people have been with us for a long time. There are some brand new folks that have joined us within the last 6 months to a year that are on this list now. So again, you're going to get that information from the person that's coaching you along here at ABS. Again, I mentioned to you earlier, you need to see a live demonstration of the software yourself. So set that up. Be one of the first ones. Did you get off this webinar to call or email or somebody and say, hey, I need to get this this demo done. Help me with this. And then ask for the purchase agreement. In that purchase agreement, on the very first page, shows the money back guarantee. Read that, send it over to your CPA, your attorney, let them look it over. I think it's expanded to about 5 pages long. We're only showing you about 4 pages right here, but I think it's about 5 pages long now. And then start getting your money and ready to go. If you're ready to go, get your funding going, get your training going. And then still, folks, you still have that 30-day guarantee that once you get through training, that you can still ask for your money back. So again, it's been my pleasure to help you today. I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to go back and see where I left off on some of these questions. I'm going to leave this up here because someone may be saying, hey, I don't know who I'm supposed to be talking with. So call us here at 866-565-8413, and we'll help you and guide you with what we can. So Patel is asking, how many years contract do we sign with your franchise? Okay, so we're not a franchise. So there is not a contract that you have to stay with us for as many years as you want to. We've got people here that have been with us for as long as I've been around, and plus that were here before I even started helping out ABS. So I know that some people have been here for 20 plus years as well. Giddy's asking, does iClaim also give us access to the insurance company portals? Yes, they're all through there. So that's all done. Can this be a long-term stable business? Yes. Again, talk with the licensees, some of the folks that I've just shared with, and you'll be able to chat with them and see how long they've been in business. And some people get into this, and then some people, divert into other areas. So yes, you can do this for as long as you want to. You may have a 5-year plan that, gosh, all I want to do is get this kind of a stable. Maybe I want to sell it. Maybe I just want to kind of manage it from a distance. You can do whatever you want to do. We'll help support you. Jacqueline was saying thank you. Okay, on another question. Joseph says, can we count on your marketing support? You bet. This is why we're here. And I'll even say this, folks. There's some people that have gotten into this business. They started it off. What if something happens within the family, or something happens that just changes you, redirects you in your life, and you may have to put this aside for a little bit. That's okay. Because when you're ready to come back, Joseph, we will pick up right back where you were, where you left off. If you need to kind of go back through training, we'll get you back through training. But we're here to help you. We're here to help you all along the way. And that's what's so important. Again, it all starts with, remember, don't forget, go back and ask for the book or the PDF of that book. Start reading the book. You need to learn this information. This will be one of the biggest helps. Can we do optometrists? The answer is yes. And I'll tell you why. If most doctors are doing their billing on what's called a CMS 1500 form, if they're billing to Medicare, you can pretty much do their billing. Now, there are some, a lot of people, can I do hospitals or nursing homes or anything like that? They bill on a completely different billing type of form, okay? What you're going to be doing what's called professional billing, which are going to be all your cardiologists, nephrologists, cardiologists, pulmonologists, all of those folks there that I just rattled off there. They're all billing on CMS 1500 form. You can do it. Now, dental billing is completely different. That's why we have a completely different platform. That's what you're going to want to be able to do. Tiger's asking, can I work anywhere I want? Absolutely. If you want to work from the moon, if you can get an internet connection there. But yes, you can work from anywhere. That's the great thing about it. Joseph says, thank you. Folks, hopefully we've had a good crowd today. It looks like most people stayed on here to the last minute. We got a lot accomplished this afternoon. I appreciate everybody staying through here. Hopefully it's been helpful for you. Hopefully I've answered your questions. Now, folks, I will say this. This is not all the ways to market to doctors. These are just what I consider the top 10 ways. Everybody's got their, here at ABS, we probably all have our own top favorite ways that we could say to market to doctors. But I wanted to kind of give you as a wide a picture as I could on what we do to help, number one, educate you so that you can educate the doctors out there and then kind of lead them through. So this has been hopefully very good. James says, thank you, Eric. You did a great job. I appreciate it. I love the feedback. I'll be here next Wednesday. I may have a guest on here. I'm trying to think of some topics that I would like to help you with. I will, if you've got a particular topic that you'd like for us to address, text it in to me right now. I'll wait here just for a little bit longer. If there's something that's really important to you, that's what we want to do. We want to help answer your questions. So if there's a topic that you want us to try to deal with, we'll see what we can do to deal with it. But typically what we try to do is rotate these things around to where you can hear from like Dr. Rackner. You can hear from interviews from some of our other licensees. We'll probably be doing a couple of those here very soon. We haven't done one of those yet for this year. So it'll probably be coming up very soon. I always like to kind of do, ways to avoid failure. I like to do some of those. I love to try to teach you some things that you need to do to help avoid some failure right off the bat. What makes one successful in this? We can do, again, some more webinars on really how much you can make, how you can return on your investment with one or if not two doctors. You can mainly do it with one doctor. So I'm just rattling off some of the topics there that might be some interest to you. So hopefully if any of those, resonate with you, get back with the person that invited you and say, hey, tell Eric, or say, I'd like to hear a little bit more about this. But again, we're here obviously to help you. So give us a call here, 866-565-8413, and we'll do what we can to help you out here. Folks, it's been my pleasure this afternoon. I hope everybody has a good evening, a great end of the rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Y'all all have a good night. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.